This is the Grand Design Challenge, Lighting and Theater. We are Group 12, and this presentation is done by Erica Vasquez, Vasquez-Deleon, Digmai Teki, Jason Ayala, and Vasquez-Deleon. So my name is Erica Vasquez, and I'll be presenting slides 1 and 2. What is lighting in theater? Lighting in theater is the art of using light to enhance a performance by setting the mood, providing attention and visibility for the audience to follow along. The main stage of a theater is designed to display a work of art through movement, such as dancing, acting, and singing. The history of lighting in theater actually goes back to ancient Greece, as the outdoors and natural sunlight served as a way for them to form a performance theater. As the years went on, 16th century theater moved indoors and used candles as lighting. However, this also posed a hazard as many accidents occurred with fires damaging property and even harming or killing actors and staff on or behind the stage. As the years went on, lighting evolved to the lighting we are used to seeing in theaters today, which was developed by Thomas Edison, who invented the light bulbs that we are used to seeing nowadays, especially in theaters. Complexity of lighting in theater. When it comes to the complexity of lighting in theater, we see that there is some complexity in political, social, and even economic factors. For the political factor in lighting in theater, theaters can be censored or banned from playing a specific play. Lighting in theater can also vary from one country to another, as here in the US, we have more creative freedom to express ourselves and perform what we want, as long as it is appropriate. Whereas in some countries such as China, North Korea, and Iran can strictly ban and censor any to all performance freedom, as it might only limit to what the countries allow performers to perform. When we look at the social complexity of lighting in theater, we see that there is a subtle relationship between humans and lighting and theater. Lighting in theater can provide a deep, complex connection to others. Lighting in theater can expose individuals to new cultures and provide new interactions, experiences, and social connections between one ethnic group to another, or one individual to another. When we think about the economic complexity of lighting in theater, we see that lighting in theater is a service that provides live performances. At the majority of theaters, we have to pay to get an entry ticket, which can cost up to $15 to $20. A big performance theater can cost up to $200 to $500 million alone. Adding lighting can cost up to almost $10,000 or more, depending on the quality of the lighting equipment. While the overall structure of setting up a theater and lighting is a lot of money, we also have to think about the cost in production, which can total up to 17 to 20 million overall.
So one of the grand challenges is that individuals with disabilities can be harmed. So what the challenge is that theater lighting can unintentionally harm or kind of exclude people with disabilities. One of those being sensory sensitivities. So when you see the bright flashing lights and high contrast, like the one that you see in the picture, this can trigger seizures, migraines, cause sensory overload, anxiety attacks, panic attacks. And in the opposite sense, the poor lighting design can also make it difficult for people with vision impairments to navigate theaters safely during their performances. I feel like the live theaters doesn't fully support universal access. So they try to be inclusive and they have wheelchair ramps, but they don't fully consider disabilities that are more regarding lighting or triggered by the sensory things around them. So the current lighting techniques and design practices don't fully support universal access. And I feel like theaters need to balance creative lighting with audience safety, which is difficult to do without a standard guideline. Some people that I think who can work on this and make a change is the lighting designers. They can meet with accessibility experts and disability advocate groups, theater architects, and medical advisors, and do research on what the safe lighting threshold is. So what threshold will not cause seizures or migraines, and the amount of light that needs to be present for someone with low vision or vision impairments to be able to see. They should also have accessibility design guideline training, and also look into technology that has adaptive lighting light systems and strobe-free alternatives. So another challenge is accidents on or behind stage. So the challenge is basically that on stages they have a lot of different things for their set, like light rigs, cables, catwalks, heavy fixtures, and fast scene changes, which can create major high-risk environments for the performer and crew. The bright lights can also be dangerous, while the dim lights during the transition can increase the chance of falling or bumping into each other or equipment. The lighting in performances is constantly adapting to choreography and staging, but while it does that, it is also adding risk. And I feel like it's a grand challenge because this industry depends a lot on precision, and the play goes on, and they don't want there to be any mistakes impacting the audience. So it's a very high pressure environment, and mistakes and equipment failures can lead to serious injuries, which not only leave a physical impact on the performers, but it would also create a financial recovery for them without being able to perform and work. And for many actors in smaller theaters, that could be a big burden on them, and a lifetime one as well. So some people who can work on this issue is stage managers, light technicians, safety engineers, and the people who help rig up the sets. The resources that are needed to improve the safety standards and inspections can be discovered by these people, and they also need to look into smart lighting that adjusts safely during movement. I think another thing that would be important was requiring crew training and having more automated systems. So this would mean investing in safer rigging, sensors, and injury prevention tools.
The third grand challenge is lack of inclusivity or present diversity. Lack of inclusivity is one of the challenges in theater and lighting designs because, according to the American Theater article, that the lighting designs field are dominated by white men. Women and people from different backgrounds don't get hired on the field. And the other challenge is that nonprofit theater struggles with diversity with staff, leadership, and audiences. Why is it a grand challenge? Lack of inclusivity doesn't only fix one job, but it affects the whole theater system. When there's no diversity, the story of the show will only be based on one specific background that they only shocks the audiences that are related to the story. And also people from different backgrounds won't be able to show their talents. Who might work on this? Artist director, theater administrator, EDI specialists, training programs, and lighting designs can create an environment in theater where everyone can be included.
Overall grand challenge argument. When it comes down to the design challenge of lighting in theater, the design can often fail to create an accessible and safe environment for individuals with disabilities. As said, this becomes a serious issue because poor lighting and the lack of universal access in the overall design of theater can limit mobility, block visible pathways for those with disabilities, and cause discomfort or physical risk. In addition, lighting environments, unsafe design set, and technical equipment increases the likelihood of an onstage or backstage accident. These hazards create a dangerous environment for performers and crew members. Finally, the lighting and theater design often lack inclusivity and diversity. As mentioned earlier, the theater scene is often run by men, which can leave out ideas that are important from other groups of individuals. This reduces the variety of perspectives in the design process, which leads to environments that ultimately exclude marginalized groups. These these issues together show why lighting and theater design present significant challenges in accessibility, safety, and inclusivity. Thank you.
Overall group ideas and viewpoints. Accessibility barriers. The present lighting design can inadvertently discriminate against those with disabilities. Sensory intense effects, flashing lights, and the lack of visibility poses difficulties for those with seizure disorders, migraines, sensory sensitivities, and vision impediments. There are no universal designs in this field yet that will be able to enable all audience members to participate and live in performances safely. Safety risks for performance and crew members. The presence of heavy equipment, rapid transitions, and lighting cues that are too bright, too dark, or erratic poses hazardous conditions backstage. Too bright and too dark lighting can be hazardous, while malfunctioning equipment can also cause severe injuries and costly production delays. Lack of inclusivity and representation. The lighting design industry still lacks diversity in that it is mainly composed of non-profit theaters that face diversity issues across staffing, management, and casting. Non-diversified hiring practices result in performances that are restricted in terms of experiences that can be showcased. The overall viewpoint. Lighting and theater are extremely evocative and a storied art practice. But for the art form to continue to develop, it must also enhance accessibility, improve safety, and increase inclusivity. This list of issues can be solved in partnership and a world of theater where all performers are represented. All members of a potential audience are able to participate and all voices are heard. These are the sources we use in this presentation. And with that, thank you for listening.